Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my YouTube channel Diversity of Plants Zone. Before starting my video, I request you all to please subscribe my YouTube channel. Today's topic of my video is about Bessie's classification system. So let's start the video. First of all, I will discuss about the introduction. Charles Edwin Bessie. Time period was 1845 to 1915. Proposed a modified system of classification of Bentham and Hooker. He separated the gymnosperms from angiosperms. He reorganized the orders of angiosperms. His system is popularly known as Besseyan system. It was published under the title The Phylogenetic Taxonomy of Flowering Plants. Bessie's system was based on primitiveness and evolutionary advancement of plant groups. According to him, Ranales was the basic groups. Monocots and most of the dicot groups evolved from it. Next I am going to discuss about the Bessie's dicta. Charles Bessie revolutionized the classification of angiosperms by his ideas on primitive versus advanced characters. Hypothesized the primitive versus advanced state of many characters of plants. Bessie's dicta arose were the basis of his phylogenetic classification scheme. The following are the important features of Bessie's classification. First is, seed plants were polyphyletic in origin and consisted of 3 phyla, one of which alone he described, namely the Anthophyta, which is also called angiosperms. Second, angiosperms were divided into Oppositefolii, dicots, and Alternifolii, monocots. Third, paleobotanical, embryological, and morphological studies were used in their division of various taxa and their subdivision. Fourth, Ranalian stock was taken to be primitive. Fifth, Bessie accepted the strobilobed theory of origin of the angiosperm flower. According to this theory, flower is a modified system of laterals or phylomers. Bessie divided the monocots into 8 orders, among which were distributed 45 families. The dicots were placed under 24 orders and 255 families. Bessie's system was based on a series of dicta or statements of the guiding principles that can be used in determining the degree of primitiveness or evolutionary advancement of a plant group. The further explanation about the Bessie's dicta is as follows. General dicta. First, evolution is not always upward, but often it involves degradation and degeneration. Second, in general, homogeneous structures with many and similar parts are lower, and heterogeneous structures with fewer and dissimilar parts are higher. Third, evolution doesn't necessarily involve all organs of the plant equally in any particular period, and one organ may be advancing while another is retrograding. Upward development is sometimes through an increase in complexity and sometimes by a simplification of an organ. Fifth, evolution has generally been consistent, and when a particular progression or retrogression has set in, it is persisted into the end of the phylum. Sixth, the holophytic chlorophyll green plants precede the colorless histrophytic plants, and the latter are derived from the former. Seventh, plant relationships are up and down. the genetic lines and must constitute the framework of phylogenetic taxonomy. Next, I am going to discuss about the dicta related to the vegetative structures. 8. The stem structure with collateral vascular bundles arranged in the cylinder is more primitive than that with scattered bundles, and the latter are to be regarded as derived from the former, as shown in the figure. 9th. Woody stems as of trees are more primitive than herbaceous stems, and herbs are held to have been derived from trees, as shown in the figure. 10th. The simple unbranched stem is an earlier type from which branching stems have been derived, as shown in the figure. 11. The arrangement of leaves in pairs on the stem is held to have preceded the spiral arrangement in which the leaves are solitary at the nodes, as shown in the figure. 12th. Simple leaves preceded branched and compound leaves, as shown in the figure. 13th. Historically, leaves were first persistent, evergreen, and later deciduous, as shown in the figure. 14th. The reticulated venation of leaves is the normal structure, and the parallel venation of some leaves is a special modification derived from it, as shown in the figure. Next, I am going to discuss about the dicta related to the floral structures. 15th. The polymerous flower structure preceded, and the oligomerous, having only a few members in particular organ, structure follows from it, and this is accompanied by a progressive sterilization of sporophylls. 16th. Polycarpy is the earlier condition, and oligocarpy was derived from it later, as shown in the figure. 17th. In earlier primitive flowers there are many stamens, which is called polystaminous, while in later flowers there are fewer stamens, and this condition is called oligostaminous, as shown in the figure. 18th. The apochlamydeous parent is earlier, and the gamochlamydeous parent is derived from it by symphysis of the members of parent walls, as shown in the figure. 19th. Apocarpy is the primitive structure, and from it syncarpy was derived later, as shown in the figure. 20th. The stamens of primitive flowers are separated, and this condition is called apostaminous, while those of dried flowers are often united, and this condition is called synstaminous, as shown in the figure. 21st. Hypogeny is the more primitive structure, and from it apogeny was derived later, as shown in the figure. 22. The endospermious seed is primitive and lower, while the seed without endosperm is derived and higher, as shown in the figure. So in this figure, this is seed coat, and this is endosperm. These are cotyledons. This is apicotyl, and this is hypocotyl. In the last, this is radical region, as shown in the figure. Consequently, the seed with a small embryo in endosperm is more primitive than the seed with a large embryo in scanty or no endosperm, as shown in the figure. So, this is the seed coat. This is the outer covering, which is called seed coat, and this area, bluish area, is cotyledon. This is apicotyl and this is hypocotyl, and all these form the embryo as shown in the figure. Twenty-fourth, petally is the normal parient structure and apetally is the result of parient reduction, and this condition is called aphanesis as shown in the figure. 25th, actinomorphy is an earlier structure than zygomorphy. The latter results from a change from similar to a dissimilar growth of the parent walls as shown in the figure. The powdery pollen is more primitive than that with coherent or messed pollen as shown in the figure. 27th, flowers with both stamens and carpels. These are called monoclynous. Precede those in which these occur on separate flowers. This condition is called diclynous as shown in the figure. 28th, in diclynous plants, the monoecious condition is the earlier and the dioecious is later as shown in the figure. Next I am going to discuss about the Bessey's system of plant classification. In Bessey's system of classification, the angiosperms have been divided into two classes. So first class is called Alternifolii, which is also called Monocotyledonii, and the second class is Oppositefolii, which is also called Dicotyledonii. The former has two subclasses and two orders, and the latter has two subclasses, 5 superorders and 5 orders. Now I am going to discuss about the general evolutionary trends. First I will discuss primitive and then I will discuss advanced. So let's start it. First, tropical habitat, temperate habitat, woody plants, herbaceous or climbing plants, wood without vessels, homozyly, wood with vessels, heterozyly. Perennial habitat, biennial or annual habitat, terrestrial habitat, aquatic, epiphytic and saprophytic or parasitic habitat. Cylindric arrangement of the vascular bundles, scattered vascular bundles, chlorophyll present, chlorophyll absent, evergreen plants, deciduous plants, stipules present, stipules absent, node, unilacunar with 2 traces and nodes various. Spiral phyllotaxy, opposite or wall phyllotaxy. Leaves simple, leaves compound, flowers hermaphrodite, flowers unisexual, flowers solitary, flowers in inflorescences, flowers antemophilous, flowers anemophilous. Floral parts are spirally imbricate, floral parts rolled or valvate. Flowers polymerous, flowers oligomerous. Parient undifferentiated, parient differentiated into calyx and corolla or reduced. Flowers with petals, flowers apetalous. Petals distinct, petals united. Actinomorphy, zygomorphy, hypogeny, perigeny and epigeny. Stamens many, stamens few, stamens separate, stamens united. Stamens 3-veined microsporophylls with linear embedded sporangia. Stamens variously modified. Pollen monocolpate, pollen tricolpate. Carpels many, carpels few, carpels distinct and carpels united. Carpels unsealed stylus, carpels variously modified. Placentation, lamina, placentation, various. Fruits single, fruits aggregate. Fruit A, follicle, fruit various. Seeds large, embryo small, endosperm abundant. Seeds small, embryo large, endosperm scanty or none. Cotyledons 2, cotyledons 1 or 3 or more. Ovule, anatropous, ovule various. Integuments 2, integuments 1 or none. Endosperm nuclear, endosperm cellular or hilobule. Save cells slender and long with scattered save areas. Shorter save tube elements with specialized save plates. Chromosome number low, n is equal to 7, high number. So this is the Bessie system of plant classification. This is Bessie's cactus. Ranalian concept of evolution as shown in the figure. Bessie's system of plant classification. So following is an outline of Bessie's system of classification. Class Alternifolii, which is also called Monocotyledonii. Subclass Taxonomic. Orders Alismatives, families 1 to 9. Liliales, families 10 to 22. Ranales, families 23 to 25. Palmers, family 26. Graminales, family 27 to 31. Subclass Cotyloidae. Orders Hydrals, family 32. Iridales, families 33 to 43. Orchideas, families 45 to 35. 44 to 45. Class Oppositefolii, which is also called Dicotyledonii, includes the subclasses Taxonomic, superorder Oppositefolii, Polycarpellati. Orders Ranales, families 46 to 69. Malvalis, families 70 to 81. Saracenials, families 82 to 83. Geranials, families 84 to 105. Guttiferales, families 106 to 125. Roidales, families 126 to 132. Caryophyllales, families 133 to 149. Superorder Sympatly Polycarpellati orders Abonales, families 150 to 154. Aricales, families 155 to 160. Primulales, families 161 to 165. Superorder Sympatly Dicarpellati includes the orders. First is Gentianales, families 166 to 171. Polymoniales, families 172 to 177. Scrophulariales, families 178 to 187. Lamiales, families 188 to 191. Subclass Cotyloidae, superorder Oppositefolii includes the orders Rosales, families 192 to 214. Metales, families 215 to 229. Loasales, families 230 to 234. Cactales, families 235. Celestrales, families 236 to 259. Sapindales, families 260 to 274. Ambulales, families 275 to 277. Superorder Sympatily orders Rubiales, families 278 to 282. Campanulales, families 283 to 286. Astorales, families 287 to 300. Next, I am going to discuss about the question, what is Bessie's cactus? So Bessie's cactus, it sounds a lot like a type of desert cactus named after a milking cow. However, Bessie's cactus is in fact not a plant at all. It is a scientific diagram that depicts how the angiosperms or flowering plants evolved and are connected. The shape of Bessie's cactus loosely resembles a beaver tail cactus and is named after the man who created it, Dr. Charles Edwin Bessie, a renowned botanist from the early 20th century. Dr. Charles Edwin Bessie was a botanist and educator from Ohio. Bessie was recognized for his well-known diagram depicting the evolution of angiosperms, known as Bessie's cactus. He was also well known for his innovative idea regarding education. Bessie emphasized scientific and laboratory training in the agricultural curriculum. He combined the university-level agricultural program with the other university science departments so that they shared common core science courses. Bessie was also committed to the idea of learning through practice rather than memorization. In fact, his botany laboratory course was the first offered to undergraduates in the United States. Despite his contributions to agricultural education, those were not his most notable works in the field of botany. His most memorable work in the field of botany was the development of the first explicitly phylogenetic classification of flowering plants. In other words, the classification of flowering plants using the evolutionary relationships of different species. Bessie asserted that the angiosperms are the most diverse group of land plants as well as the most primitive of the flowering plants. He contended that they are the most primitive because they possess several features considered close to gymnosperms, seed-bearing plants. Gymnosperms are considered a more primitive type of plant due to the fact that seeds are not enclosed in an ovule. Bessie argued that angiosperms derived from a single ancestral group. He developed a set of 28 rules for distinguishing genetic characteristics or evolutionary trends in plants. Based on these characteristics and trends, he formed a classification system and designed a diagram to represent how plants were connected to each other and which of these plants were evolutionarily primitive or advanced. This diagram was rather intricate and was nicknamed Bessie's cactus because the branching, bending shape looked somewhat like a beaver tail cactus. Bessie's cactus placed plant groups with many floral flowers in the basal position as the ancestral forms, outlined dicta for the construction of phylogenies using the evolutionary trends and character changes. Polypetalous flowers, insect pollination, cycad-like ancestors. So this is the Bessie's cactus, which includes Scrophulariales, Lamiales, Polymoniales, Gentianales, Primulales, Abonales, Aricales, Caviophyllales, Roidales, Guttiferales, Geranials, Geranials, Malvales, Sarracenials, Ranales, Rosales, Cactiles, Myrtales, Loasales, Celestrales, Ambulales, Sapindales, Rubiales, Campanulales, Asterales or Asterales, Alismatales, Hydrales, Liliales, Arales, Palmales, Graminales, Triuridales, and Orchideales as shown in the figure. Next, I am going to discuss about Bessie system. A system of plant taxonomy, the Bessie system, was published by Charles Bessie in 1915. Bessie based his system on the tradition of Tickandole, Bentham and Hooker and Helier. He was also influenced by Darwin and Wallace. He taught that taxonomy must be based on evolutionary principles, like Wettstein. He placed the Ranales at the origin of angiosperms. He considered spermatophyta as having a polyphyletic origin, being composed by 3 different phyla, of which he only treated Anthophyta, synonym angiosperms. In that he used the same names for the subclasses of both Monocotyledons and Dicotyledons. This is contrary to the contemporary rules on plant nomenclature that require names to be unique. However, Bessie actually used a qualifying hyphenation: Alternifolii, Strobiloideae, and Oppositefolii, Strobiloideae. A distinction not always recognized in reference to this scheme. With some modifications, most modern classifications, for example, those of Cronquist 1981, 1983, 1988, and Ticktagen 1969, 1980, 1983, 1991, Stebbins 1974, R. Dahlgren 1975, 1980. 1983, R. Dahlgren et al. 1981, R. Dahlgren and F.N. Rasmussen 1983, R. Dahlgren and K. Bremer 1985, G. Dahlgren 1989, and Thron 1976, 1981, 1983, 1992 followed the Bessie tradition. Summary: Phylum Angiospermi. 1 classes Alternifolii, synonym Monocotyledonii. 2 classes Oppositefolii, synonym Dicotyledonii. First, I will discuss about Alternifolii. 1 classes Alternifolii, synonym Monocotyledonii. 1 subclasses Alternifolii, Strobiloideae. Ordo Alismataceae, Butomaceae, Triuridaceae, Schuchzeriaceae, Typhaceae, Sparganiaceae, Pandanaceae, Aponogitonaceae, Potamogitonaceae. Ordo Liliales includes Liliaceae, Stamonaceae, Pontidariaceae, Cyanostraceae. Philidraceae, Commelinaceae, Zyridaceae, Maiacaceae, Jincaceae, Areocolaceae, Areocolonaceae, Terniaceae, Rhaptaceae, Nagadaceae s, Naiadaceae. Ordo Ranales includes Seclanthaceae, Oraceae, Limnaceae. Ordo Palmales include Palmi as Palmaceae. Ordo Graminales includes Restionaceae, Centrolapidaceae. Flagellariaceae, Cyperaceae, Poaceae. Two subclasses Cotyloidae. Ordo Hydrals includes Vallisneriaceae. Synonym Hydrocaritaceae. Ordo Aridales includes Amaryllidaceae, Hemodoraceae, Eridaceae, Valosaceae, Tecaceae. Dioscoriaceae, Bromeliaceae, Musaceae, Zingiberaceae, Canaceae, Marantaceae. Ordo Orchidales includes Bermaniaceae, Orchidaceae. Next I am going to discuss about Oppositefolii or Oppositefolii. Two classes Oppositefolii, synonym Dicotyledonii. One subclasses Oppositefolii Strobiloideae. One superordo Oppositefolii Polycarpulaceae. Ordo Ranales includes Magnoliaceae, Calicanthaceae, Monimiaceae, Circidifolaceae, Trochodendraceae, Lightneriaceae, Anoniaceae as Anoniaceae, Lectoridaceae, Gomotigaceae, Myristicaceae, Sororaceae, Piperaceae, Lacestimaceae, Chloranthaceae, Ranunculaceae, Lardizabulaceae, Berberidaceae, Manispermaceae, Lauraceae, Neelam bonaceae, Cubbombaceae, Ceratophyllaceae, Delaneaceae, Wintraceae as Wintranaceae. Next order is Malvaceae, which includes Sterculiaceae, Malvaceae, Bombaceae as Bombaceae, Bombaceae as Bombaceae. Next is Cytopetalaceae, Calinaceae. Synonym Sarcolinaceae, Gonistylaceae, Tiliaceae, Eliocarpaceae, Balanopaceae, Balanopsidaceae, Almaceae, Moraceae, Urticaceae. Next order is Sarracenials, which includes Sarraceniaceae, Nepenthaceae. Order Geranials, which include Geraniaceae, Oxalidaceae, Tropiolaceae, Balsaminaceae, Limnanthaceae, Linaceae or Linaceae. Hemeriaceae, Rutaceae, Cimarobiaceae as Cimarobaceae, Burseraceae, Miliaceae, Malpighiaceae, Trigoniaceae, Wucheziaceae, Polygalaceae, Tremendraceae, Dichapetalaceae, Euphobiaceae, Calitrichaceae, ordo Guttiferalis, which includes Thiaceae, Cistaceae, Guttiferae as Guttiferaceae, Eucariophyceae, Ocneaceae, Dictrocarpaceae, Caryocaraceae, Quinaceae, Margraviaceae, Flacotiaceae, Buxaceae, Cocospermaceae, Violaceae, Melascerbiaceae, Turneraceae, Passifloraceae, Acariaceae, Caricaceae, Stachyoraceae or Stachyoraceae, Coberlinaceae, order Rhoideus, which includes Papaveraceae, Tuvariaceae, Nymphaceae, Morinaceae, Ricidaceae, Capraceae, Capridaceae as Capridaceae, Brassicaceae, order Caryophyllalis, which includes Caryophyllaceae, Alatinaceae, Portulacaceae, Isoaceae, Frankinaceae, Tamricaceae, Salicaceae, Podostimonaceae as Podostimonaceae, Hydrostachaceae as Hydrostachidaceae, Phytolacaceae, Basilaceae, Amaranthaceae, Chenopodiaceae, Polygonaceae, Nyctaginaceae, Cynocrumbaceae. Synonym Thaligonaceae, Bataceae as Batidaceae. Two superordo Sympatally polycarpellati includes the order Abonales or Abonales. Includes Septotaceae, Abonaceae, Symplocaceae, Styracaceae, Fucoriaceae, ordo Ericales, Caladraceae, Aricaceae, Apocridaceae, Diapensaceae, Pyrolaceae, Linoaceae, ordo Primulales, which includes Primulaceae, Plantaginaceae, Plumbaginaceae, Myrcinaceae, Theophrastacea, 3 superordo Sympatrili dicarpellati, which includes the ordo Gentilnails. Oliaceae, Salvadoraceae, Loganiaceae, Gentianaceae, Oppositefolii, Asclepiadaceae, Polymoales. Ordo Polymonaales, which includes Polymonaceae, Convolvulaceae, Hydrophyllaceae, Boraginaceae, Boraginaceae, Nolanaceae, Solanaceae. Ordo Scrophulariales, 2 subclasses Cotyloidae, 1 superordo Apopatali, order Rosales, which include Rosaceae, Malaceae, Prunaceae, or Crossosomataceae, Conaraceae, Mimosaceae, Cassiaceae, Fabaceae. Next is Saxifragaceae, Hydrangeaceae, Grossolariaceae, Crassulaceae, Drosseraceae, Cephalotaceae, Pitosporaceae, Brunaliaceae, Cononiaceae, Myrothamnaceae, Bruniaceae, Hamamelidaceae, Casuarinaceae, Eucomiaceae, Plantinaceae. Next order is Myrtales, which includes Latraceae, Soneraceae, Punicaceae, Lycaethidaceae. Melastomaceae, Myrtaceae, Combretaceae, Rhizophoraceae, Enotheraceae, Halorhizidaceae, Hipporidaceae, Cynomoriaceae, Aristolochiaceae, Rafflesaceae, Hedenoraceae. Next order is Loaceales. Loaceales includes Loazaceae, Cucurbitaceae, Bignoniaceae, Datiscaceae, and Cistrocladaceae. Next order is Cactales. Cactales includes Cactaceae, ordo Salistrales or Salistrales, which includes Rhamnaceae, Vitaceae, Salistraceae, Betsaceae, Equifoliaceae, Cyrolaceae, Pentaphylocaceae, Corinocarpaceae, Hippocrataceae, Stackhausaceae, Staphylaceae, Gisolomotaceae, Panaceae, Oleniaceae, Thymilaceae, Hernandiaceae, Elagnacei, Alagnaceae, Mysodendraceae, Santalaceae or Santalaceae, Opiliaceae, Grubiaceae, Olacaceae, Laurentaceae, Balanophoriaceae, ordo Sapindaceae, which includes Sapindaceae, Hippocestanaceae, Asteraceae, Sabiaceae, Echachinaceae, Meliantaceae, Ampitraceae, Corariaceae, Anacardiaceae, Juglandaceae, Betulaceae, Fagaceae, Maricaceae, Julianaceae, Proteaceae. Next order is Apiales or Apial, which is also called as Amblyales, which includes Araliaceae, Apiaceae, Cornaceae. Two superorders in Patly includes the order Rubiales, which includes Rubiaceae, Caprifoliaceae, Adoxaceae, Valerianaceae, Dipsacaceae. Next order is Campanulales. Campanulales includes Campanulaceae, Guadagnaceae, Stylidaceae, Caliceraceae. Next order is Astraeans, which includes Heliantaceae, Ambrosiaceae, Heleniaceae, Octotidaceae, Calendulaceae, Enolaceae, Asteraceae, Vernoniaceae, Eupatoriaceae, Senecionidaceae, Anthamidaceae, Carduaceae, Mutaceaceae, Lactocaceae. Next, I am going to discuss about the merits and demerits of Bessey's system of plant classification. Merits of Bessey's system of classification. Although Bessey initially followed Bentham and Hooker's system of classification, he, however, didn't place the gymnosperms in between Dicotyledons and Monocotyledons, as in Bentham and Hooker's system. Second, Bessie abolished Monochlamydiae from his system and distributed the families of Monochlamydiae in Oppositefolii of Dicotyledons, Ranales, which are accepted as the primitive forms from the starting point of Bessey's system. Fourth, the families with superior ovary precede families with inferior ovary in this system. Next, I am going to discuss about the demerits of Bessey's system of plant classification. First, in this system, the monocots have been discussed prior to dicots, which is the greatest demerit. Second, hypogeny, perigeny, and epigeny have been emphasized too much in this system. If you like my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time and appreciation.